Did you know that you can save over $1,000 a year by being a DIY mechanic? But one wrong move can leave you wishing you had gone to the pros. From jacking your car wrong to trusting cheap parts, these blunders cost more than you think. We're breaking down 17 common mistakes DIY mechanics make. Stick around until the end, because the worst slips can put you and your passengers in serious danger. Mistake number 17, over or under tightening nuts and bolts. Overdoing the bolts might feel like you're being cautious, but it's easy to cross the line. Not tightening enough, on the other hand, can sneak up on you and cause a far worse tragedy. Take the oil drain plug, for example. Over-tighten it, and you might strip the threads or crack the pan. Under-tighten it, and you'll find oil leaking everywhere. In either case, you'll spend hundreds of dollars to fix it. The same goes for coolant hoses. A loose clamp, and you're looking at a major leak and an overheated engine. Every nut and bolt on your car has a specific torque value. These values are listed for each vehicle and come with 3 settings: low torque, mid, optimum torque, and high torque. The high torque? Never exceed it. The same applies to the low torque. Now, when you're tightening lug nuts, try the 3-squeak method. Tighten until you feel resistance, then tighten a little more. First squeak, tighten again, second squeak. One last push, final squeak, tight, safe, and perfect. For even more precision, grab a torque wrench. It's your best friend in getting the job done right. Still on bolts, what's coming up next could put you in a real bind. Mistake number 16, cross-threading nuts and bolts. This happens when you try to force a nut onto a bolt that's not meant to fit. You see the nuts? They look almost the same, right? So, you think they'll fit? Wrong. It's common with lug nuts or engine fasteners. You might think they're the same size, but they have different fittings or the rings roll differently. Force it, and you'll end up breaking studs or damaging hubs. That means you'll be stuck replacing expensive parts or dealing with a car that won't even run. A loose fit is just as bad as forcing it. The results can be dangerous. Parts could come loose while you're on the road. Always label and mark your nuts and bolts to avoid confusion. Pay attention to sizes and fittings. Don't just guess. Getting it right the first time will save you time, money, and headaches in the long run. Now that we've tackled fitment, let's move on and see how believing myths can backfire. Mistake number 15, believing in universal car parts. There's no such thing as a universal car part. Even within the same brand, each model has its own specific needs. Parts might look similar, but don't be fooled. Brands and models are not interchangeable. Just because something fits doesn't mean it's the right fit. And just because you've got a dead car sitting around doesn't mean those parts are up for grabs. What works in one car won't necessarily work in another. Filters and gas gaskets are perfect examples. They may look like a great match, but soon enough, you're dealing with poor performance, or worse, a breakdown. Sure, using universal parts might save you a couple of bucks up front, but it'll cost you much more later. Poor fitting parts can lead to leaks, system failures, and voided warranties. And the worst part? You might end up stranded regretting your quick decision. Know your exact car model and double-check compatibility before making a purchase. Don't just guess or let the auto shop sell you what they want. Some are after a sale, not your car's well-being. Speaking of fittings, coming next is where things can really go off the rails if you're not careful. Mistake number 14, buying cheap aftermarket parts. Just because you're handling the job doesn't mean you should cut corners. You might think you're saving money, but cheap parts always cost you more in the end. That's because cheap aftermarket parts often come with hidden risks. They wear out faster, especially in critical engine components. Take timing belts, for example. One wrong move here, and you could end up with a destroyed engine. So, you saved $40, but now you have a $4,000 repair. For jobs that matter, such as timing belts, engine components, or anything that involves heavy lifting, stick with OEM parts. They're made to last, fit perfectly, and keep your car running smoothly for years to come. It might sting a bit at the checkout, but it's a small price for peace of mind. Next time a bargain tempts you, remember this: cheap parts will cost you more in the long run. Invest in quality now, and your car will thank you. However, this isn't the worst mistake you can make with parts. That comes in at mistake number 3. Mistake 13, putting full trust in online catalogs. The internet is a goldmine for DIY car knowledge, but here's the problem. Not everything you find is trustworthy. Online communities are a great way to sharpen your skills, but be careful. Some sources are more about making money than giving you the right tools. With the rise of AI, misinformation is even more widespread. It's easy to fall into the trap of trusting one source blindly. But that could be a dangerous gamble, especially when it comes to critical parts and repairs. The key is to research from multiple sources. Don't just take one person's word for it. Compare, cross-check, and ensure the advice is tailored to your car's exact needs. If something feels off, don't push forward. Automakers actually warn against tackling certain critical components on your own. Don't risk a botched job over misplaced confidence. When in doubt, let a professional handle it. Up next is an example of what can go wrong when you listen to the wrong source. Number 12. Wrong jacking. You've got your jack ready, but where are you putting it? Maybe you tested it once on a solid frame, but that's not enough. Here's the deal. Jacking up your car at the wrong spot is a recipe for disaster. Every car has specific jacking points, reinforced areas at the front and rear. If you jack it up anywhere else, you risk bending the pinch welds or worse, having the jack slip. That could cause serious damage or even an accident. Some DIYers think, the control arm looks fine, or the leaf spring's sturdy, let's use that. Big mistake. These slanted areas can't safely hold the weight of the car. Jacking up at these points is just asking for trouble. Stick to the recommended jacking points. These are the spots built to handle the weight securely. Use a solid jack and don't rush through it. Your safety is priceless, so take your time and do it right. Speaking of safety, are you truly protected or just hoping for the best? Mistake number 11. Ignoring safety gear. Those old ragged clothes from your wardrobe won't save you in case of an accident. Gear up properly, especially when you're working under the hood. Car repairs can get messy. You're dealing with heavy equipment, hot engine parts, and dangerous chemicals like brake fluid. Splash a little of that stuff on your skin, and you'll regret it. You risk burns, cuts, and long-term health issues like breathing in brake dust or toxic fumes. It's not just about protecting your skin, it's about keeping yourself safe from serious harm. Wearing the right gear is a must. Gloves, safety goggles, long sleeves, and closed-toe shoes are your basic must-haves. Don't forget a face shield if you're working with chemicals or high-speed tools. One wrong move, and you could be dealing with a trip to the hospital. Safety gear doesn't just keep you safe, it also helps you work more effectively. No more distractions or worries while you focus on the job. Gear up and make sure you're fully protected. Safety first, always. Next, you might be flying blind without it. Hang in there, because the next tip will help you steer clear of those hidden issues. But first, like and subscribe so you don't miss out on more correctional tips to level up your DIY game. Mistake number 10, skipping the scan tool. Normally, this mistake should top the list, but let's get to it anyway. Skipping the scan tool is like trying to find your way without a map. Sure, you might get lucky, but you're likely to waste time and end up frustrated. An OBD2 scanner isn't 100% accurate, but it's a solid starting point. For just $25 to $100, it can help you identify problems, especially those related to electrical issues. Manual methods might work fine for simple repairs, but when it comes to electrical diagnostics, you need this tool. It points you in the right direction, giving you a snapshot of live data and keeping you from guessing in the dark. This tool helps you quickly diagnose issues, verify repairs, and clear codes once you're done. It's like having a mini mechanic in your toolbox, saving you time and preventing unnecessary headaches. So, don't skip it. While it's not a magic fix, it's a solid lead on what's breaking. Trust me, investing in one is worth the peace of mind. But wait, there's a bigger danger lurking just around the corner. The wrong circuit could cause your car to die on the spot. Mistake number 9, poor battery handling. The battery is your car's power source. One wrong move, and you could end up with a complete failure. Messing with it without the proper steps could be a disaster waiting to happen. Many DIY mechanics make the mistake of rushing through battery work. They might disconnect the positive terminal first, or use the wrong tools to pry it loose. Others forget to wear gloves and end up with acid burns or sparks flying around. These small slip-ups can lead to significant problems, damaging your battery, overheating circuits, or causing injury. It's simple. Start by disconnecting the negative terminal first. Why? It safely breaks the power flow, reducing the risk of sparks when working with the positive terminal. After the negative is off, you can remove the positive without worry. When reconnecting, always do the positive first, then the negative. It's that simple. Take your time and avoid rushing this step. Proper handling prevents a mess, saving you from engine stall and unnecessary stress. Keep it safe, and your car's power source will stay in check. Still absorbing the shock? You'll want to keep watching to avoid making a huge mess. Mistake number 8, using dish soap to clean. Many DIYers are guilty of this one. Grabbing dish soap to clean a part, thinking it'll do the job or at least lather up and remove the grime. But using the wrong cleaners is asking for trouble. It's a common slip-up that can wreck your car parts in the long run. Take spark plugs, for example. A quick scrub with dish soap might look sparkless, but it strips away important protective oils, leaving them vulnerable to rust. Even using clean water can initiate the corrosion process, and once it sets in, you're in for a much bigger headache. Car parts are made with specific coatings and treatments, and they don't want to be scrubbed with random cleaners. The proper way? Apply a dedicated cleaner to a clean cloth and gently wipe it down. Cutting corners here will turn to haunt you. Imagine replacing a stalled engine for $3,500 or more. It's not pocket change. So, keep the dish soap for the kitchen and let the proper cleaners take care of your car. Moving from cleaning tools to something even messier, this next one might seem harmless, but it's going to get tricky. Mistake number 7, mixing old fluids or using wrong ones. Just because you have leftover oil from last time doesn't mean it's a perfect match for your car. And that transmission fluid that's been sitting in the garage, it may no longer carry the protective elements it once had. Mixing fluids or using the wrong type can lead to a slow death. Different oils and fluids have specific compositions tailored for your vehicle. Even if the product looks the same, there are variations that could be ineffective or, worse, ruin your engine. For instance, transmission fluid might sit unused for months. It may not be expired yet, but it won't perform as it should and can damage your car's internals. Every car has its own set of fluid requirements, including motor oil, transmission fluid, and brake fluid. The fix is to check your owner's manual for the correct fluid specs. Never assume that leftover fluid from a previous change will work. Get fresh and right fluid for your car whenever possible. And when you buy fluids, only get what you need. No need for excess sitting around collecting dust. That way, you won't be falling for the mistake later on. Mistake number 6. Working in a dirty workspace. A messy workspace is a recipe for disaster. As you disconnect car parts, where you place them really matters. Dirt and grime can get into your vehicle parts, and before you know it, you're dealing with corrosion, friction, or even total failure. Air filters, timing belts, spark plugs, and fuel gaskets are common culprits. These parts are not cheap. Some of them can cost hundreds of dollars, and others, like the timing belt, can run you thousands. You definitely don't want to risk damaging them by leaving them exposed to dirt. Always keep your workspace clean and organized. Use a clean rag or towel to wipe down parts before reinstalling them. And when you're working on delicate engine components, lay down clean paper to keep them clean and free from dirt. Finally, store your tools and parts properly to keep things tidy and safe. Sometimes the tools you are using are the culprits. Keeping your workspace clean is key. But what about your car's tiny parts? Mistake number 5. Overlooking worn-out seals and gaskets. Don't let small parts cause big problems. Seals and gaskets might seem insignificant, but they play a huge role in keeping your engine running smoothly. These little heroes prevent fluids and air from leaking where they shouldn't, keeping everything in check. If you overlook worn-out seals, you're setting yourself up for disaster. Leaking oil, coolant, or transmission fluid can quickly lead to engine damage. Not to mention, overheating is just waiting to happen when those fluids aren't properly sealed. And don't forget about your fuel gasket. This is one of those hidden secrets for maintaining your engine. If it cracks and you ignore it, you'll soon notice air mixing with fuel, which can affect engine performance and fuel economy. Whenever you're working on your car and spot any worn-out seals or gaskets, don't just leave it. Replace them right away. A tiny seal or gasket is way cheaper than the $3,500 it could cost for an engine rebuild. Don't wait until it's too late. Replace those worn-out seals before they become a major headache. A little attention to detail now will save you time, money, and frustration later. Those little parts really matter. Now let's shift to the other side of the equation. Mistake number 4. Overestimating your skill level. Jumping into complex repairs without the right experience often leads to frustration, mistakes, and, worst of all, costly damage. When you mishandle tough tasks like electrical systems or engine overhauls, you're playing with fire. Not only could you ruin expensive components, but you might also void your car's warranty or create dangerous, unsafe conditions. Here's a pro tip. Experienced mechanics rely on a hidden gem, color-coded engine parts. These color codes indicate what is safe to touch and what is off limits. For example, blue or green markings usually signal components like air filters or ignition coils, which are safe for DIY work. On the other hand, red or yellow parts, such as the alternator or fuel lines, are typically best left to the pros. Know your limits. Don't get caught up in the "I can do it all" mentality. Start small and gradually work your way up as your skills grow. If it gets complicated, don't hesitate to call a professional. It's always better to ask for help than risk making the problem worse. By the way, if you want to uncover more hidden gems under your hood, check out 17 secret car features no one knows about. They might just make your DIY game a little easier. Mistake number 3, reusing old parts. Old worn-out parts can fail immediately after reinstallation, leading to a more significant issue. It's tempting, but it's a shortcut that'll cost you later. Take brake pads, for instance. Reusing old ones may seem like a quick fix, but it's risky. Worn-out pads can hurt your braking performance and even damage your rotors. Or consider spark plugs. Using them after they've worn down can cause misfires, poor engine performance, and even stalling. And for the belts, a cracked or worn-out timing belt can snap at any moment, leaving you stranded and staring down an expensive repair bill. Reusing these parts might save you a few bucks, but it'll cost you much more down the road. Old parts lose their efficiency, while new ones keep your car running smoothly and safely. So don't risk it. Replace worn-out parts when you can. Or better wait until you have everything ready. Hold up. Next up is the one where every DIYer thinks they're saving a few bucks. Mistake number 2, cheaping out on tools. If you're serious about being a DIY mechanic, the first step is to invest in the right tools. Cutting corners here will cost you more than you think. Trust me, cheap tools aren't saving you money, they're just setting you up for frustration and expensive mistakes. Tools that don't meet proper specs will cause headaches. Bolts and nuts not aligning? You'll end up forcing them, causing damage. And while it's rare, cheap tools can break during use. That means double the cost. Buying replacements and paying for repairs you could have avoided. Might as well have gone to the auto shop in the first place. Quality hand tools like wrenches, ratchets, and pliers are essential. These are your workhorses. For tougher jobs, a voltmeter for electrical work and an impact wrench for heavy-duty tasks are a must. Having the right tools will save you time, hassle, and money. Cheap tools might look tempting, but they'll slow you down and cause more problems. Buy the good stuff from the start to avoid a lot of hassle and implications. Finally, what if I told you there's one more thing you've missed all along? Mistake number 1, ignoring the car manual. Many DIY mechanics skip the car manual like it's optional. Once they've scoured online sources, they think they're good to go. But here's the truth. The general knowledge out there can help, but your car has specific needs only your manual can reveal. Let's take oil changes, for example. Sure, you know it's time to change the oil, but how thick or thin should it be? That info is in the manual. Using the wrong oil can mess with your engine's performance and lifespan. Tire pressure? Don't just follow the crowd. Yes, 35 psi might work for many cars, but your car may require a different setting. Double-check the manual for your car's exact tire pressure requirements. It's a small step that can save you from working with assumptions. Your car manual is your best friend. Don't ignore it. By following its specific recommendations, you'll avoid mistakes that could cost you big time down the road. It's all about the details. You've seen the 17 common DIY mistakes that can cost you big. But what if you're still missing out on the 13 car maintenance tips mechanics don't want you to know? Trust me, you won't want to miss this.